Hey everyone, and welcome to EduCeption. In this video, we solve the second section of ICSE Biology 2018 question paper. If you like the video, hit the thumbs up button, the subscribe button, and share the video with your friends. Section 2, 40 marks. You have to attempt any 4 questions, but I am going to solve all the 6 for you. Question 2a. The diagram given below represents a stage during cell division. You have to study the same and answer the question that follows. Number 1. Identify whether it is a plant cell or an animal cell. Well, the picture is a bit vague for class 10 level. These structures appears to be centrioles, but they are not the same. They are microtubules, and you can see there is a double membrane. Okay, the outermost membrane is the cell wall. So, and also no aster rays are there, right? So we are going with plant cell. You have to give a reason to support your answer. So the answer will be cell wall, presence of cell wall. Number 2. Name the stage depicted in the diagram. It is metaphase. What is the unique feature observed in the stage? Well, the chromosomes are lined in the equatorial region. That is the picture. Number 3. Name the type of cell division that occurs during number 1. Replacement of old leaves by new ones. It is mitosis. Number 2. Formation of gametes. It will be meiosis. Question 4. What is the stage that comes before the stage shown in the diagram? It's late prophase. Number 4. Draw a neat label diagram of the stage mentioned in 4 above, keeping the chromosome number constant. Well, don't mind my diagram. It's late prophase, right? It is the cell wall, this is cell membrane, this is chromosome, and these are the spindle fibers. Question B. Mention the exact location of the following. Number 1. Epididymis. Epididymis fits like a cap on the upper pole of the testis. Number 2. Lacrimal gland. It is at the upper sideward portion of the orbit of the eye. Number 3 is malleus. Malleus is situated at inner surface of eardrum, or you can also write in between eardrum and anvil. Well, number 4 is hydothods. They are located at the tip of leaves. Number 5 is pulmonary semilunar valve. It is located at the base of pulmonary artery, or you can write at the opening of the right ventricle. Question 3a. Given below are diagrams showing the different stages in the process of fertilization of an egg in the human female reproductive tract. You have to study the following diagram and answer the questions. Number 1 is you have to arrange the letters given below each diagram in a logical sequence to show the correct order in the process of fertilization. So the first in the list will be D. This is the egg showing egg nucleus, right? The second one will be C. You can see many sperms are approaching the egg. The third one will be B. You can see only one sperm enter, and this is known as impregnation. And the fourth one will be A. You can see nucleus of sperm and egg. Nucleus of the sperm approaches the nucleus of the egg, right? So the order will be D, C, B, A. Number 2 is where does fertilization normally takes place? It is at the end of fallopian tube. Next is what is implantation that follows fertilization? Now implantation is the attachment of the fertilized egg when the fertilized egg, now blastocyst, has completed its travel through the fallopian tube and adheres to the lining of the uterus. Number 3 is you have to mention the chromosome number of the egg and zygote, right? Egg contains haploid number and zygote contains diploid number. It means that 23 and 46 number of chromosomes are there. Number 4 is you have to explain the term gestation. Now gestation is the full term of the development of an embryo in the uterus. You have to also, how long does gestation last in humans? In humans it lasts for about 280 days, or you can say 9 months. Number 5 is you have to draw a neat level diagram of mature human sperm. Well, this is human sperm. It is divided into 3 sections. It is called the head. This is the middle piece, and this is the tail, right? The head contains the acrosome and nucleus. The mitochondria is in the middle piece, and the axial filament lies in the tail part. Question B. A potted plant with variegated leaves was taken in order to prove a factor necessary for photosynthesis. The potted plant was kept in the dark for 24 hours and then placed in bright sunlight for a few hours. Observe the diagrams and answer the questions. Number 1 is what aspect of photosynthesis is being tested in the diagram? It is to show that chlorophyll is necessary for photosynthesis. In part 2, you have to represent the process of photosynthesis in the form of a balanced equation. The equation is pretty easy. I hope all remember this. 6CO2 plus 12H2O in presence of light and chlorophyll, right, will give you glucose, 6C6H12O6, 6 water and 6 O2. Why was the plant kept in the dark before beginning the experiment? To destarch the leaf. To destarch the leaves. Number 4 is what will be the result of the starch test performed on leaf A shown in the diagram? It will be only the green plants, only the green part of the leaf will turn bluish, showing the presence of starch. In the next part, you have to write an example of a plant with variegated leaves. There are many: coleus, cotton, croton. Number 5 is draw a neat label diagram of a chloroplast. Well, this is the internal structure of a chloroplast. You can see the thylakoids. This is stroma, and this is collective. The thylakoids are collectively called granum. Question number 4a. The diagram given below shows the internal structure of a spinal cord depicting a phenomena. Study the diagram and answer the questions. Name the phenomena that is depicted in the diagram. It's reflex action. You have to define this phenomena. So what is reflex action? It is an involuntary action that is produced by a stimulus. Number 2. Give the technical term for the point of contact between the two nerve cells. It will be synapse. You have to name the parts numbered 1, 2 and 3. Number 1 will be sensory neuron as it receives the stimuli. Number 2 will be motor neuron as it was moving towards effector. And number 3 will be gray matter. Number 4, how does the arrangement of neurons in the spinal cord differ from that of the brain? Right, the arrangement of the white and the gray matter is reversed from that in the brain. Right, the gray matter lies on the inner side, whereas white matter lies on the outer side, which is totally reversed from that of the brain. Whereas the composition remains the same. The gray matter contains the cell bodies and the white matter contains the axon in both. Number 5 is mention 2 ways by which the spinal cord is protected in our body. Well, you can write cerebrospinal fluid, which acts like a cushion and protects the spinal cord from shock, and also the same 3 membrane which protect the brain. They are the dura mater, arachnoid and the gray matter. Sorry, not gray matter, pia matter. Question B. Give appropriate biological or technical terms for the following. Number 1 is process of maintaining water and salt balance in the body is osmoregulation. Number 2 is hormones which regulate the secretion of other endocrine gland. It's tropic hormone. Number 3 is movement of molecules of a substance from their higher concentration to lower concentration. When they are in direct contact, it will be diffusion. Number 4 is the condition in which a pair of chromosomes carry similar alleles of a particular character. It will be homozygous. Number 5, the complex consisting of a DNA strand and a core of histones, it will be nucleosome. The onset of a menstruation in a young girl is called menarche. Number 7 is squeezing out of white blood cells from the capillaries into the surrounding tissues is called diapedesis. Number 8 is the fluid which surrounds the fetus is amniotic fluid. Number 9 is the relaxation phase of the heart is called diastole. Number 10 is the difference between the birth rate and the death rate is growth rate. Question number 5a. The diagram given below is that of a structure present in a human kidney. You have to study the same and answer the question that follow. Number 1 is name the structure represented in the diagram. It's nephron. What is the liquid entering part 1 called? You can see this is glomerulus and the fluid entering is called glomerular filtrate. You have to name 2 substances present in this liquid that are reabsorbed in the tubule. They are glucose and amino acid. You can write. Number 3 is what is the fluid that comes to part 2 called? It is called urine. The main nitrogenous waste in it is uric acid. In number 4, you have to mention the 3 main steps involved in the formation of the fluid mentioned in 3 above, that is urine. So they are the ultrafiltration, namely reabsorption, and the tubular secretion. In 5, you have to name the substance which may be present in the fluid in part 2 if a person suffers from diabetes mellitus. It will be glucose. In B, you have to differentiate between the following pairs on the basis of what is indicated in the brackets. In number 1, leaf and liver by form in which glucose is stored. In leaf, you know leaf is stored in the form of starch, and in liver it is stored in the form of glycogen. ATP stands for adenosine triphosphate, and AIDS stands for acquired immunodeficiency syndrome. So part 3, testosterone and estrogen by organs which secretes. Testosterone is secreted by testes and estrogen is secreted by ovaries. Ureter and urethra in terms of function, right? They both transports urine, right? Whereas ureter transports urine from kidney to urinary bladder. Urethra transfers urine from urinary bladder to outside the body. Number 5, hypotonic solution and hypertonic solution on the basis of condition of a plant have been placed in them. Hypotonic means the outside solution is less concentrated, and hypertonic means the outside solution is more concentrated, right? So on the basis of condition, what will happen is in hypotonic solution, endosmosis will occur. That is, the water will move inside the cell, and in hypertonic, exosmosis will occur. Next is question 6a. Given below is a diagram of a human blood smear. You have to study the diagram and answer the question that follows. Number 1 is the components numbered 1 to 4. Number 1 is RBCs, red blood cells. Number 2 is WBCs. Number 3 are platelets. Number 4, plasma. You have to mention two structural differences between the parts 1 and 2, that is RBCs and WBCs, right? RBCs have a spherical shape, whereas WBCs are irregular in shape. Number 3, name the soluble protein found in part 4 which forms insoluble threads during clotting of blood. It's fibrinogen. Number 4, what is the lifespan of the component number 1? RBCs have a lifespan of 120 days. Number 5, component numbered 1 do not have certain organelles but are very efficient in their function. Explain. They are, well, the role of RBCs is to transport oxygen. To transport oxygen. Right. Number B, give biological explanations for the following. Education is very important for population control. Well, it is necessary that the people should be educated about the need to limit the population, right? And they should be made aware of the advantages of having small families and the disadvantages of having many children. Number 2, the placenta is an important structure for the development of a fetus. The placenta is permeable to respiratory gases, nutrients, and also antibodies, but it does not allow the passage of germs from the mother to the fetus. Number 3. All the food chain begin with green plants. Green plants are the only producers, thus all the food chains begin with green plants. Number 4. Plants growing in fertilized soil are often found to wilt if the soil is not adequately watered. If the soil is not adequately watered, the solution outside the plant becomes more concentrated. As a result, exosmosis occurs. Number 5. We should not put sharp objects into our ears because sharp objects may rupture the eardrums. Question number 7a. The diagram below represents a process in plants. The setup was placed in bright sunlight. Answer the following questions. Number 1. Name the physiological process depicted in the diagram. It's transpiration. Why was oil added to the water? To prevent evaporation. Number 2. When placed in bright sunlight for 4 hours, what do you observe with regard to the initial and final weight of the plant? The final weight will be less. You have to give a suitable reason because of the loss of water through by transpiration. Number 3. What happens to the level of water when the setup is placed in number 1 humid condition? In humid condition, the transpiration is lessened. As a result, the level of water will not change. In number 2 windy condition, the transpiration increases. As a result, the level of water will decrease. Level of water will decrease. Number 4. Mention any 3 adaptations found in plants to overcome the process mentioned in 1. They are sunken stomata, thick cuticle, and the leaves are reduced to spines. Question 5. Explain the term guttation. Guttation is the process in which water is lost in the form of water droplets from hydrathodes. B. A pea plant which is homozygous for green pods which are inflated is crossed with a homozygous plant for yellow pods which are constricted. You have to answer the following questions. Number 1. Give the phenotype and genotype of the F1 generation. The phenotype will be all green pods inflated and the genotype will be G, capital G, small g. Yeah, this one. Which type of pollination has occurred to produce F1 generation? Cross pollination. Number 2, write the phenotypic ratio of the F2 generation. 9:3:3:1. Write the possible combination of the gametes that can be obtained if two F1 hybrid plants are crossed. Number 4, state Mendel's law of segregation of gametes states that the two members of a pair of factors separate during the formation of gametes. They do not blend but segregate or separate into different gametes. The gametes combine together by random fusion at the time of zygote formation. What is the scientific name of the plant which Mendel used for his experiment on inheritance? It will be Pisum sativum. So guys, here we come to the end of this video. New videos are coming soon. Stay tuned.